For the past couple years, I've been going down this analog rabbit hole where I've been buying all sorts of cassette tapes and stuff like that, you know, weirdo stuff. And over the last couple weeks, I've seen some YouTube videos where these guys are playing around with these 4-track players, and I finally bit the bullet and went and got my own. So you might be wondering why all this trouble. Limited setups and restrictions bring out a lot of creativity and make you have to think about what you're doing ahead of time. It's more hands-on than a traditional DAW, so for me it's a lot more entertaining and I kind of have more fun doing it. On tape you get compression and distortion naturally, which sounds awesome. And tape also has this like warm vibe to it that you can't really get digitally. And also just because it's fun and challenging. So why am I outside? Because it looks better on camera and my room is pretty dark. Songwriting for me is something that takes like multiple days. I usually start out messing with chords and then I like work on the vocal melody over time and then add to it a little bits and bits. I record lots of voice memos. I'm not gonna show you because it'll expose my address, but the voice memos app that everybody has on their iPhone and every other phone has an equivalent app. You just record stuff like that and you record all your little ideas like a little virtual notebook. It's very useful. Basically, so over a few days I like take some chords, I mess with them, get a vocal melody going, and then I kind of like do word salad until stuff kind of starts to come out, and then we eventually get a song. I really don't write bass parts or anything else until I get up to recording, so that's what we'll be doing today. With only 4 tracks, you really have to plan ahead. So I usually start with guitar and vocal, excuse my horrible handwriting. So guitar and vocal 1 on track 1. On track 2, I usually record our drums or a metronome, just something to keep time for reference. And then on the 3rd track, I like to record my bass, saving the 4th track to bounce our rhythm tracks over to. Bouncing is when you take 2 tracks, so they call it 2 stereo tracks, and merge them into 1 mono track. So we'll be taking 2 and 3 and putting them onto 4. So then our tracks will look like this. We'll have guitar and vocal on track 1, and once we bounce these 2 to 3, we have drum and bass on track 4, opening up 2 and 3. On 2 and 3, I can do a few different things. I think what I want to do is do guitar on its own and vocal on its own. I'm also not sure 100% if I want to do drums for this song, but this is just kind of one of those things that you kind of figure out as you're going. Alright, so let's actually do it. I've got a song picked out that I've been working on a while. I've got the omnichord, the drum machine. I'm using the drum machine off the omnichord, running directly in, and I've got the mic and the guitar running through a preamp running straight into line 1. So line 1 is guitar and vocals. Line 2 is the omnichord drum machine. Got a fresh set of tapes we're gonna crack open. Dude, I did not think I'd have this much trouble opening up. Ugh. Buy 2, get 1, or was that buy 1, get 2? Buy 2, get 1. Yeah, buy 2, get 1 free. We only need 1 though. Putting your tape in for the first time always feels so cool. I love it. So before we can actually record anything, we gotta set up channeling, and so it's a nightmare. Okay, so recording select up here. You have channel 1 and 3. These are your odd channels. Odd channels, you want to pan left. So if we're trying to record to track 1, we'll pan this one left. So vocals and guitar, which is run through all this stuff, vocals and guitar, is going to go into track 1, so we pan that left. Track 2 is our drum machine, so we're going to go ahead and pan that right so we can record that at the same time on to track 2. Yes. And then these other ones, we're just gonna turn them all the way, sorry, my camera zoomed in all the way. Gonna turn these all the way down, and it doesn't really matter which direction they're in. And unless I've screwed something up, this should be ready to go. So, let's start with guitar. I'm having a little trouble speaking because I got the drum machine playing in my ear. So reminder, guitar and voice is all panned to this ear, and then the drum machine is panned to this ear. We do this so that they record to separate tracks. Set our counter. I always get nervous at this part. That's because I haven't practiced this song at all. Some things go right to your head, and other things just make you feel like you're better off in bed, and I can't help but think. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run it again. That's good enough. And we'll listen back to it, make sure everything came back right, and then I think we can move on to bass. Then we'll bounce bass and drums over to 4. Then we'll record vocals and guitar separately, and then we'll record the first track over again, and then we should have a song. So we can go ahead and set the pan, track 1, go ahead and pan that back to the center. This one's our drum, so we'll put that back to the center. We're gonna set this down to tape, those don't matter. Let's play back, see what we got. Now on the bass. So what I usually like to do for bass, once I get everything kind of balanced out, just go back and listen back to it, and we just kind of jam. We already tuned and stuff, so all that stuff is already out of the way. It's really quiet. Again. I'm liking where the verse is at. Chorus needs work. We'll get there. I think that's pretty good. We just got to practice that a few times through, and then we'll send it on the recording, make sure we get it good enough, and then we'll bounce the drum and bass over. I think that's probably good enough. Let's listen back. You see right now what I'm doing is, as I'm checking the bass, I'm kind of mixing the drums and bass, because as we get ready to bounce, we have to make sure that they're exactly how we want them, because after you bounce them down, you can't really mess with them. So you gotta make sure you've got them how you want them before you move forward. Okay, so I do believe that we are ready to bounce over. I got everything set where I want it, my levels where I set them. That's very important, as I said before, because once you set it over, you can't change it. So we're gonna bounce 2 and 3 to track 4. So 4 is an even number, so we know to pan to the right. So 2 and 3, see if we can see that better. 2 and 3 are panned to the right. I just do that just because I'm paranoid. And then we want to set the recording selector, that one to off. We want to set it to 4. So we're on 4, and then I do believe it should just be as easy as pressing record. And it should be recording, it's listening to these 2 tracks onto this track. Yeah. And then we just listen through it. You can see now, if I did it right, if I go ahead and mute all of these by putting them on input, and then just leave track 4 on tape, set it to the middle, so all we'll be able to hear is track 4, which, if I did it right, should just be our rhythm. Hey, look at that. Now that frees up tracks 2 and 3, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do retake of guitar, retake of vocals, and then I want to go ahead and redo track 1 to get a nicer take, and then we should be able to move on to mixing, and should be able to listen to the final product. Go ahead and do our second guitar. No, yeah, it turned out great. It was just it's got a weird thing where like it buzzes if you bump it, weird old things. Alright, next we are on to vocals, and then we'll re-record the first part. We're losing daylight, so we gotta get moving. Vocals. Got everything set up, so I'm running my mic through some distortion, delay, and some reverb, and then right into track 3, panning, blah 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 blah. Some things go right to your head, and other things just yeah, fumbled my words. Okay, we'll do it again. Some things go right to your head, and other things just make you feel like you're lying in bed. Good enough for me. So I panned the tracks wrong, and have to do that all over again. Double, triple, check. Yeah, so I panned them all backwards. Some things go right to your head, and other things just make you feel. Alright, looks good. So I'm gonna go practice a minute, and then we'll try to do guitar vocal part, and then we'll listen to the final song. Alright, so I decided against re-recording track 1, mostly because I'm a little lazy, but also I don't mind the way it sounds now, and you know, with tape I'm kind of afraid, you know, if you mess it up, then yeah, so I'll just leave it as is. I found some panning I like. I think I'm gonna pan the first guitar and vocal all the way, so hard pan left, drums middle, second vocal a little off to the side, and this is the second guitar a little off to the side. So this is really heavy on this side, and this kind of carries that side, and then rhythm right down the center. But yeah, I think I found a mix I kind of like. I might mess with the EQ a little more. But I think as of right now, I kind of like where it's at. Yeah. So I guess this is the part where I show you the final mix.